The war on split infinitives is pretty much over, which is a good thing. Most people agree with what linguists have been saying for years. There's nothing ungrammatical about the structure of split infinitives. There are still many people who believe that using split infinitives is wrong, but most of the time they're just people complaining on the internet and can therefore safely be ignored. So what are split infinitives? In English, the infinitive form of the verb is formed in one of two ways. In the bare infinitive, it's just the verb change, turn, hide, climb. In the full infinitive, you need to add the particle to in front of the verb. To change, to turn, to hide, to climb. There is also a linguistic theory stating that English has no full infinitive and that the particle to is in fact attached to the first verb. This is interesting, but for the purposes of here and now, we'll assume that to change is the full infinitive. The infinitive is used as the second verb in a sentence. For example, he decided to change direction. A split infinitive is formed when an adverb is placed between the particle to and the verb change. Thus, he decided to quickly change direction. To explain why people think splitting the infinitive is bad, I have to explain how the infinitive is formed in other languages. In Latin and in Latinate languages such as French, Italian, and Spanish, the infinitive is a single word. For a long time now, Latin has been heralded as the perfect language because I guess it's easy to idolize something that's been dead for hundreds of years. But since Latin is a zombie language, it keeps coming back to life to offer us grammatical advice. In this case, the infinitive in English should be treated as a single unit. Latin couldn't split infinitives, so English shouldn't split them. The first recorded complaint about split infinitives appeared in 1834 by an anonymous American author. He didn't give a reason why split infinitives shouldn't be used, he just said he didn't like them. His rule for repairing sentences was to place the adverb immediately before the particle to, or to place it immediately following the verb. Since then, English grammars, writers, and style guides have been condemning the use of split infinitives with varying degrees of success. Eventually, reputable sources such as the Oxford English Dictionary, Merriam-Webster Dictionary, and every linguist worth their salt came out and said it officially. Split infinitives are just not a big deal. The Queen's English Society in London came out and said that approving of split infinitives is like abolishing history. Calm down, Queen's English Society, they're just verbs. Although the Queen's English Society officially closed their doors in mid-2012, so whatever. But let's look at how style guides tackle repairing split infinitives. One of the defining characteristics of the adverb is that they have free roaming power in a sentence. When you have one verb in a sentence, the adverb can be tossed whenever you want without it impacting the grammaticality or meaning of the utterance. So, he quickly changed directions means the same thing as he changed direction quickly, which means the same thing as quickly he changed direction. When you add a second verb to the sentence, the adverb can still go wherever it wants, but the meaning will not necessarily stay the same. You can say, he decided quickly to change direction, but here quickly is modifying decided, not to change direction, so it changes the meaning of the sentence a little bit. You can also say, he decided to change direction quickly, which does offer the interpretation of quickly modifying to change direction, but it also offers the interpretation of quickly modifying he decided. You can say, quickly he decided to change direction, but here quickly is a sentence adverb, and it's saying that the entire action of deciding to change direction was done quickly. So should you use split infinitives, or should you avoid them? This is a trick question. I actually have no opinion on people choosing to gleefully split all their infinitives, or whether they prefer to attack all split infinitives with red ink. I'm more interested in whether split infinitives are being used at all. The short answer to this question is yes. The long answer is a little longer, but not by much. Finding out if a form of the language is in use isn't very hard when you've got the internet and corpuses dutifully compiled by universities across the globe. You may as well start off with the corpus of contemporary American English and compare with the British National Corpus while you're at it. If you enter to quickly change, you find that you get a couple of results from each of the different search engines, but you get more from to change quickly. You can maybe chalk this up to peer review and editors being biased against split infinitives, but you can't draw any solid conclusions from this. But you don't want to exclude any regional variations, so you head over to Diet Topics and contrast to change quickly with to quickly change. That's pretty interesting, but the internet is well known to be a cesspool of unedited information. Surely published books will give you a different distribution, which you can see pretty easily when you cross-reference in Google Ngram. The number of values don't matter here. The interesting information is contained in how the uses interact with each other, and even someone who stopped taking math wants to stop being a compulsory subject can tell you that split infinitive in this case has been steadily gaining popularity for the past 25 years. None of this proves anything except for the fact that split infinitives are being used, which is what I wanted to prove in the first place, so I'm pretty happy. You can decide to not use split infinitives, or you can go ahead and use them. Either way, you're in pretty good company. So go forth and use whatever you want to use. Just remember, we're meant to boldly go, not go boldly.